So let's start with session 2. Moderator for session 2 is Martina Barišić. She comes from Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačević from Karlovac, Croatia. She's working on procurement and cataloging of books, and her interests are green libraries and learning disabilities. So Martina, here you go.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're ready for our second session. My name is Martina Barišić, and I will be your host. In this session, we are going to see 9 presentations from Croatia, Serbia, and Slovenia. Our first panelists are Snježana Kovačević and Andreja Jertec from elementary school Zlatar, Bistrica, Croatia. Snježana Kovačević works at the elementary school as a professional associate librarian, and Andreja Jertec is a primary school teacher. Their presentation, Eco-Twinners at C.AMP.limate-European project on climate change, is an e-twinning project that was focused on raising awareness on climate change dangers at earlier children ages. Ms. Kovačević and Ms. Jertec, the mic is all yours.
Learning about climate change through a virtual camp in e-twinning project, Eco-Twinners at C.AMP.limate. Snježana Kovačević
and Andreja Jertec from primary school Zlatar, Bistrica. We started this European online project at the beginning of the last school year, and its aim was raising awareness of climate change among primary school students.
The most important thing that pupils learned about was getting to know Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, and during the project they gave suggestions and solutions on how to achieve these goals locally and then globally. Project goals: to develop environmental awareness and awareness of the dangers and risks of climate change. To improve environmental activities in partner schools to be more responsible for the environment. To support students in developing self-confidence. To teach them about safe and responsible use of digital tools, to develop lifelong learning skills, to improve communication and cooperation with European peers using English.
Project partners were from Croatia, Greece, Romania, Turkey, Lithuania, Poland, and Albania. Pupils participants were 10 years old, and coordinators were teachers, English teachers, and school librarian. Pupils learned about the causes and risks of climate change, ecology, recycle, and sustainable development as important preconditions for a healthier, safer, and better future.
Pupils participated in mentioned topics in a creative way. They formed virtual camps that they named after the planets of the solar system, and in that way they collaborated in groups and worked in mixed teams from different partner schools and also in a collaborative way. During the project Virtual Camp, students participated in numerous environmental activities, creating and playing games, learning about the importance of forests and the danger of deforestation. They spent a lot of time outside in the woods or in the lakes to explore about biodiversity.
Composing a song for planet Earth and developing their creativity and music skills.
Designing environmental board games, environmental heroes, and learning through gamification, research, and project learning in school library, which was center place for cooperation and learning. Pupils and teachers participated in lectures on climate and ecology by environmental experts on an interactive way by asking questions and giving answers and developing critical thinking. An expert from Turkish University talked about Agenda 2030 in a way all pupils could understand it and take part in it. We also organized a lot of workshops about recycling and arranging the school garden, developing environmental awareness, social skills, and learning about healthy lifestyle. Because in our school, there is a school garden which pupils organized and took care of it through all school year. They learned how to plant and seed vegetables and flowers, and when it grew, they had a chance to try it. We also had an activity of learning and reading outside or in the school library, which was a central place to find resources for project activities. And that was a great experience for pupils too. Here you can see a photo about a day spent reading outside and talking about books and about the content pupils read. That way, we merged reading and environment, motivating pupils for learning and having fun at the same time. When learning in school library, pupils use different sources like books, various literature, online sources, digital tools, children's and popular scientific magazines. Those sources were useful for research work about the climate, climate change, and the environment. Also, in school library, pupils had online meetings with peers. They were creating posters, brochures, e-books, new things from recycled materials. They participated in creative workshops, developing reading skills by using different reading approaches and techniques.
During the project, pupils created many digital educational materials in safe digital environment. Pupils made presentation about their schools, themselves, their country and environment. They used digital technology and digital tools in safe digital environment and presented themselves on creative way using avatars for their virtual profile.
We also created e-book about climate change and how to prevent its negative consequences, and virtual exhibition with the motifs of nature and changes in it. Another thing pupils made was photo album and collaborative song about climate. Dissemination of the project. Project activities were disseminated through school websites of school partners, in media, in local newspapers, magazines, in articles, on online meetings with other teachers, on radio stations and other platforms. Pupils found the project interesting. They were highly motivated to carry out various activities. They developed their collaboration skills, digital competences, self-confidence. They used different sources of learning and actively participated in the design and creation of project activities. Pupils said that they learned a lot and hope to participate in the similar project in the future. All participants learned that every person must be aware that his actions affect the climate, and we need to act thinking of the nature and climate and to be the example to others to do the same. We learned new ways of taking care of healthy environment and think of the future of all of us. Thank you for the attention and greetings from primary school Zlatar Bistrica from teachers Snježana and Andreja.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting. We are moving on. Our second speaker is Marinka Vnuk, librarian from Franc, Ksaver, Meško, Ormož Library, Slovenia. Ormož Library is one of the 4 best green libraries in the world in 2020, according to IFLA Green Library Award. Mrs. Vnuk, in her presentation, Franc, Ksaver, Meško, Ormož Library, Uniting Local Community on its Road to Sustainability, is going to tell us more about green programs and activities in their library. Go on, Mrs. Vnuk.
The libraries can greatly contribute to the changes in their local communities that follow the path of sustainable development. Green libraries are especially committed to this mission, focusing in particular on promoting healthy lifestyles, environmentally friendly buildings, and the use of natural materials, light, ventilation, lifelong learning, protecting our natural and cultural heritage, and of course, raising awareness of the need for sustainable development. Slovenia, one of the greenest and safest countries in the world, Ormož and its surroundings, and Ormož Library are all well aware that sustainability is the only way to preserve our planet for future generations. And the only way to achieve that is by working together. Ormož Library actively chose to step on the road to sustainability in 2015, after moving to renovated energy-efficient premises with extensive green areas building. We started building the local community and engaged visitors in our various green activities as active participants. With the help of local experts and visitors, sustainable herb and flower beds have been planted. Each year, a certified herbalist prepares a variety of herbal tea blends from herbs picked up and dried by our library staff. The patio is adorned with vines, offering pleasant shade for outdoor reading, and the local winemaker produces grape juice from picked grapes, which is served at library events. Grapes are also occasionally used to make jam. In a remote corner of the library garden, the Beekeepers Association Ormož, to which we offer library spaces for their events, set up a beehive, and the organically produced honey is used as a promotional gift for literary guests and lecturers, as are tea blends and jam. They contain information about local authors, encouraging reading and promoting domestic literary creativity. The patio is also a place for recreation. The library has also attracted young readers by setting up a table tennis table where children, young people, and the elderly can recreate. Every morning, in all seasons, physical exercise called 1000 movements is performed by the School of Health Association. Regular and persistent morning exercise strengthens the body and self-esteem, expands the social circle, and helps people to gain new friends. The library garden is often visited also by animal visitors. A variety of birds, squirrels, hedgehogs, and even endangered species such as storks nesting not far from the library. On the patio, the library organizes most of its green program, as well as other activities. The importance of outdoor event space for well-being and maintaining health is even more recognized during the COVID-19 epidemic. The most recognizable activities for adults every summer are Thursday's Green Afternoons, designed to promote green literacy and implemented since 2016 in the form of lectures, workshops, tastings, visits to good practices, and other forms that allow knowledge exchange between lecturers and library visitors. Numerous lectures and workshops were held on the topic of herbs, healthy lifestyle, cooking. We learned about healing through history, nature reserve, beekeeping, discussed mental health issues with a psychiatrist, and of course, planted and marked library herbal and flower beds. During the year, the library organizes free lectures and presentations of books by experts on nature protection, ecology, horticulture, and healthy lifestyle, and various workshops where visitors socialize and acquire a variety of practical skills. Prlekija with Ljutomer Ormož Hills is one of the most famous Slovenian wine-growing regions. In such environment, problems related to alcohol abuse, alcoholism, and inappropriate drinking cultures are often encountered, so the library greatly contributes to awareness raising and education in this field. Through so-called wine stories, lectures, and guided tastings by enologists, internationally renowned Slovenian experts, the library pays special attention to topics related to wine and local natural and cultural heritage, which also play an important role in local green tourism. Special care is taken to raise awareness of children and their parents about the importance of preserving nature and a healthy lifestyle, especially about the importance of quality leisure time, physical exercise, and creativity. With the Green Library program for children and youth, we also establish a positive attitude towards reading, nature, and the library itself. Activities for children are complemented by exercise, dance, yoga. In creative workshops, natural and recycled materials are used. Through stories and the library garden, children learn about the plants and animals, learn the basics of environmental protection, prepare healthy fruit snacks or traditional Slovenian dishes for themselves, get to know nature through scientific experiments. We prepared several fairy tale hours with a herbalist, where children learned about herbs and herbarium and then prepared and tasted herbal tea. During the pandemic, the first virtual fairy tales were filmed in nature. Green libraries present to local schools and kindergartens, and we try to approach young people with topics and ways that are close to them, like watching the True Cost movie, the Indigenous Plants in Local Area project, or a table tennis tournament. The library also pays special attention to the protection of natural and cultural heritage. We dedicated several lectures, projects, and workshops to Slovenia's intangible cultural heritage. One of the most common forms of promoting reading culture and reading literacy, creativity, and spending quality leisure time in Slovenia are various forms of reading badges. The library runs a reading badge for adults and children and works with kindergartens and schools in the local community that implement eco and other reading badges. The visitors got acquainted with the importance of beekeeping and apitherapy through local experts. Various workshops on traditional pottery, basket weaving, Slovenia bobbin lace making were prepared. We reminisced on in 2007 closed Ormož sugar factory, and we joined this year's European Cultural Heritage Days and Cultural Heritage Week. The library also developed very good relations with nature reserve Ormož Lagoons and Sdg Book Landscape Park. The latter we visited to conclude this year's Thursday's Green Afternoons. We also organized a longer hike where we saw the beauties of our hometown and revived memories of some of the greatest local authors. Green practices are of course also carried out inside the library. We use large and many windows for natural lighting as well as for natural ventilation. We separate waste, we use natural materials for many bookshelves, toys, promotional bags. The interior is full of greenery for the well-being of employees and visitors. The computers remain in use by upgrading the hardware whenever that's possible. Old books are used for various purposes, such as Christmas trees. We are currently establishing a seed library, a project that has already come to life in 2 Slovenian libraries. Special attention is also paid to the health of employees, who, in addition to their work, regularly meet and educate themselves about sustainable development. The activities carried out by the library are accessible to all visitors and have a significant impact on the perception of the library not only as the most important cultural institution in the local community, but also as an important factor of raising awareness and acquiring new knowledge. The library cooperates and strengthens ties with local experts, associations, institutions, and companies that cultivate similar green values. It is also a member of the Ormož Healthy City Project Council. It has contributed to the quality and positive development, the empowerment of the population, the raising of the quality of life through implemented independent or partnership projects, and noticeably improved green and reading literacy in the local environment. We have also developed close ties with the Croatian Green Library movement, especially with the City Library Jurašić Šibenik, have participated in several Croatian festivals and conferences like First Green Festival, Let's Turn Green, Let's Go Green, and the role of libraries in the promotion of a healthy lifestyle. And the beauties of Ormož and our Green Library were also presented at an exhibition in the Šibenik Library. A small library with a big heart. IFLA described Ormož Library in this year's the Green Library Award. We are proud to be ranked among the best 4 green libraries in the world in this year's competition, as is our local community. We continue to have a great impact on the promotion of green libraries and green projects in Slovenia, with sustainable development being one of our core values. Of course, we strive to contribute to the goals of sustainable development not only as a green library. Few examples, along with our green library efforts, are presented on our website. Perhaps you can find some inspiration on how your library can contribute to the SDGs from Franc, Ksaver, Meško, Ormož Library.
Thank you. That was a beautiful presentation and an inspiration to all of us. We can now move on to our third presentation. Experiment of Engagement in Libraries, Novi Sad Biodiversity Project by Bojana Grujić from Novi Sad City Library, Serbia. Ms. Grujić is head of the Department for Promotion, Supervision and Development of Library Activities in Novi Sad City Library. Her project, Library for All, was awarded the highest recognition at the professional scientific meeting Biblionet in 2011. And today she's going to tell us more about the project Novi Sad Biodiversity. Ms. Grujić, go on.
Colleagues, it is an honor for me to tell you a bit about the project Novi Sad Biodiversity. My name is Bojana Grujić and I come from Novi Sad City Library in Serbia, which is a public library, the second largest in the state. The project is a part of the larger European undertaking based on goals of the United Nations Agenda 2030, preserving biodiversity and developing sustainable cities. The European Commission project, Biodiversities, implemented by Joint Research Centre and Directorate General for Environment, funded by the European Parliament, is based on European Union Biodiversity Strategy for 2030, with a goal to improve civil society participation in local decision-making and to gather civil sector, scientists and policymakers in efforts to co-create vision of the future urban nature. In order to practice innovative approach to the topic, a dozen European cities were selected for the project, all of them from countries members of the European Union, except Serbia. Each was free to plan their own activities, in line with needs of the community. The project Experiments of Engagement in Libraries, funded by the European Commission, is linked to the project Biodiversities and refers to experimenting with public spaces, such as libraries, as places of civic engagement. Novi Sad Biodiversity was planned in direct connection to both projects mentioned. The project started on May 15 and lasted till September 30. Our partners were Public Libraries 2030 Association from Brussels, National Green Roof Association Serbia from Novi Sad, and University Library Svetozar Marković from Belgrade. Our primary goal was to encourage active citizens' participation in issues of biodiversity and sustainable development through dialogue, promotion, education, and creativity. All phases of the process were mentored and monitored by Brussels, Public Libraries 2030, and the European Commission. The first thing we had to do was to examine the state of facts and conduct an audience research, which was carried out from May 15 to June 15. We mapped our target groups, gathered information about the level of interest in the project, and created a base of participants. The survey showed a lot of interest and a lack of guided action. Approximately 36% of those involved in research expressed willingness to take part in some form of activity. The qualitative analysis gave us insight into topics and forms that would motivate citizens. It was clear that they had to be personally involved. So we planned panel discussions, educational and urban planning workshops, and an online art competition. Additional activities involved mostly promotion. It was important to connect with the community and make the project visible and susceptible. After building visual identity, on May 15, we launched the Facebook page of the project and a web page. We posted daily in both Serbian and English in order to educate and build a community. We conducted a promotional campaign through billboards, bookmarkers, and local media. There were 2 panel discussions. The first one was in the context of health, and the second was based on bees. The participants were experts, scientists, university professors, representatives of the regional and state administration, NGO representatives, members of a beekeeping society, ecology activists, and representatives of the media. Meeting consisted of, first, lectures by experts, and after, the discussion with present citizens. All participants sat in a circle and expressed their opinions, asked questions, and gave suggestions. The most important fact here is that we've created a possibility for members of different social structures to talk, hear each other, and collaborate on matters of the utmost importance for all the society. The fact that some of them worked on the same problem but didn't know of each other outlined the need for interinstitutional collaboration, which was happening on the spot. Conclusions of the meeting in form of a visual were sent to the city administration for environmental protection. This was important so the public voice could reach the decision makers. On this slide you can see the first panel discussion, held on Sunday, July 11, World Population Day. The second panel discussion was held on Wednesday, August 18. The 2 educational workshops, Recognize the Tree and Recognize the Bird, were held by Milan Ružić from Bird Protection and Study Society of Serbia. The first one was held on the International Youth Day, August 12. This was the only event in Serbia that was on the map of the United Nations Youth Day. Here's the second workshop. Urban Mapping Workshop was held on September 13 by the architect Danica Laćarac from our partner organization. Subject of the workshop was the Central City Zone, and the results were submitted to the public company Urbanism. Multimedia competition was organized in order to motivate citizens to engage their creative potentials and affirm their own significant natural places. They competed in 5 age categories. The works of all 65 participants were exhibited on the Facebook page of the project and the Facebook page of the library. The competition lasted for 2 months, from June 15 to August 15. The decision was made by a jury whose president was Uroš Petrović, famous Serbian writer and awarded National Geography photographer. The jury decided to reward 21 works in total. During the project, our unique collection Beekeeper's Library was promoted. 19 volumes of the periodical Serbian Beekeeper were digitalized and are available on Pretraživa.Srb digital library. This activity was conducted with help from our partners. We organized the projection of the awarded Macedonian documentary Honeyland. World Biodiversity Day, May 22, was celebrated by visiting a green roof in the Science and Technology Park Novi Sad. We also released an educational video and material. We supported Serbian post-C.AMP in pan-European competition. On September 26, World Environment Health Day and the Day of Clean Mountains, the ending of the project was celebrated in the Danube Park with a music program and the following exhibition. The guest of honor was Uroš Petrović, who handed over the awards to participants in the contest. With courtesy of Public Greenery, as a symbol of new life, health, and beauty, we planted a tree together with a time capsule containing messages for the future. Our associate took us on a future tour through the Danube Park. For those of you who want to learn more about the project, I recommend videos I presented here. Here are some numbers helping us perceive the quantitative reach of the project in the community. There are some numbers on this slide too. Now, what have we concluded? We have learned that it is important to ask the citizens what they want, go an extra mile to reach as many people as possible, promote positive initiatives, act on several levels to engage people with different sensibilities, and most of all, engage on issues of wide importance, consistent with the public library mission. We have offered our fellow citizens to actively improve the comprehension of urban nature and sustainable cities, apply that knowledge in everyday life, learn more about the work of various organizations, and offer the opportunity to actively join them, engage in concrete means for infrastructural development, express their creative potentials, promote positive examples of nature preservation, and thus motivate others to join the initiative. We have achieved to contribute to citizens' active collaboration and engagement, connect citizens with institutions and NGOs, improve interinstitutional connecting and networking, raise the awareness of the topic's significance, and, the most important, mark a library as a place for the debate, an open place, a place of trust. So in the future, we commit to staying on the track of the Green Initiative and promise to release the electronic publication with experts' texts, competition awarded works, and information about the project in Serbian and English by the end of the year, and send links to 225 public libraries in Serbia and Europe. I hope the presentation was interesting. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Our next panelists are Jasmina Milovčić, Kristina Čunović, and Anita Malkoč Bišćan from the Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić, Croatia, with presentation Our Green Story, Our Green Festival. This report will be presented by Kristina Čunović, Head of the Research and Development Department in the Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić. Mrs. Čunović is librarian advisor and is currently actively working on the development of the Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić on the principles of ecological sustainability. Ms. Čunović, the floor is yours.
The title of the presentation is Our Green Story, Our Green Festival. The authors of the presentation are Jasmina Milovčić, Director of the Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić, Karlovac, Croatia, Kristina Čunović, Head of Research and Development Department, and Anita Malkoč Bišćan, Librarian, Coordinator of the Green Festival. The Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić is the largest and oldest cultural institution in the city of Karlovac and Karlovac County. More than 600 lectures, exhibitions, professional gatherings, presentations for adults, workshops, quizzes, numerous events for children and youth are organized annually with the participation of over 9,000 visitors. The library has 6 departments, 7 services, and 1 library station, with a professionally organized information service for users, as well as a reference online service, Ask the Librarians. As the county's central development library, the Karlovac Library performs professional supervision over the work of libraries, permanent professional training of library staff, provides professional assistance, and carries out activities in the direction of library development throughout the county, and thus development in the direction of green libraries. The energy-efficient library building, green oasis in the library spaces, quality green literature, and many eco-programs contributed to improvements in the local community, and especially improved the quality of time spent at the library for both its visitors and its employees. The authors want to present the Karlovac Green Story closer to a wider professional public, while also describing project The Green Festival. The Green Story of Karlovac was made possible by the architecture of the library building itself. Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačić Karlovac is the first building that was originally designed as a library building in Croatia, as well as the broader region. It was opened in 1976, and the original design was only partially finished. In 2003, the city of Karlovac decided to continue construction, and in 2007, a new upgraded part of the Karlovac Library was opened, which is energy efficient and gets a green roof, a green oasis on its roof. The public library Ivan Goran Kovačić in Karlovac is the central library of Croatia, Karlovac County. The green story of Karlovac came to be by synergy of the institution's strategic guidelines in collaboration with the local community. The library is accomplishing its green story in collaboration with institutions, organizations, and individuals who are engaged in various fields of ecology or are contributing to protection of the environment and raising awareness about sustainable living in their community. The library building is composed of two segments. The first segment of the library building, built in 1976, and an upgraded new part of the library, modern architectural forms and bright colors. The old and new part are well connected into a single space. The Karlovac Library building meets several key criteria of green libraries. The location of the library is accessible by public transport or on foot. The building is constructed of harmless and durable materials. Energy efficiency and energy saving in the lighting, heating and cooling system are taken into account. Take care of the use of natural light. Durable furniture made of natural materials was chosen. A green roof was built and a lot of living plants were placed indoors. The main entrance of the library is on the south side and overlooks the grassy area that visually enters the library with a green floor that flows through the ground floor space. Modernly designed furniture, shelves and tables is made of wood, whose warmth further enriches the space. With the addition of the building, the Karlovac Library received a green roof, a green oasis on its roof, a gathering place and a place for organizing numerous eco-events. In 2019, the energy renovation project of the old part of the library building, originally built in 1976, was completed. The project was co-financed by the European Union from the European Regional Development Fund Operational Program, Competitiveness and Cohesion 2014 to 2020, as well as by several ministries of the Croatian government, the Croatian Ministry of Construction and Physical Development, the Environmental Protection and Energy Efficient Fund, the Croatian Ministry of Regional Development and EU funds, and of course the city of Karlovac. With this project's completion, Croatia's first building, originally constructed as a library building, became an environmentally sustainable building. The goal of the project was to reduce the energy consumption in the whole segment of the building by using energy efficient solutions. The Karlovac Public Library, as its city's oldest cultural institution, made a strategic plan with the goal of being the initiator of change and innovation, and as a green library, will work on environmental awareness of the employees and users of the entire community. The library, which organizes over 600 events each year, aims to influence the local community by its action. Karlovac's green story is intended for all age groups of users and is realized through the following programs: a series of lectures, Talking Green on the green roof of the library, screenings of documentary films, events in public areas, arranging the library space and the library environment, green energy efficient library, educating children about environmental protection and recycling workshops and book borrowing in the library on the beach at Foginas Beach, series of storytelling for adults, Let's Talk Company, and many exhibitions. In collaboration with educational institutions, various non-governmental organizations, and the local community, we have organized a series of lectures to help raise awareness about environmental protection. We have worked on highlighting the importance of the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. On September 2020, the Green Festival, Karlovac Green Story, was held for the first time in Karlovac, organized by the Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačević. Holding this event, we gave our support to the national project of Green Libraries, which started in 2015. The idea, which grew during 2019, encouraged librarians to design the all-day program of the Green Festival, in addition to the existing programs. The festival was realized in 2020 through the strengthening of the existing cooperation between libraries, associations, and institutions at the national level. The festival encouraged multidisciplinary cooperation in the implementation of programs that motivate and encourage the development of programs in green libraries and awareness of ecology. The Green Festival consists of lectures, photo exhibitions, book presentations, poster presentations by Croatian librarians, and agricultural products fair in front of the library. In the first part of the Green Festival, participants from different parts of Croatia have the opportunity to hear interesting lectures in the fields of ecology and environmental protection by eminent university professors. At two Green Festivals, we also organize photo exhibitions with the aim of emphasizing the importance of protecting Croatia's natural resources. Green Festival participants were able to participate in the presentation of new editions of books on the topic related to the field of ecology and biodiversity. After inspiring lectures, Croatian libraries participated in the festival with their poster presentation that came from primary, secondary, university, and public libraries, which gave the presentations a difference in approach. Presentation of the posters, their exhibitions was set up in front of the library, and the selection of the best poster was organized. During the festival, agricultural products fair stands were set up in front of the library, where you could see and buy local organic products. The fair of agricultural products was open in front of the library from the beginning of the gathering until the afternoon. At the stands, in addition to their products, exhibitors were open to conversation and advice related to the products and preparation they prepare. On this slide, you can see basic information about the Karlovac Library. All your questions are welcome, and you can send them to the specified email address. We would like you to follow us on social media as well. Best regards from City Library, Ivan Goran Kovačević, Karlovac.
Thank you. Our fifth speaker is Melinda Grubišić-Reiter from the Public Library Juraj Šišgorić, Šibenik, Croatia. Unfortunately, Mrs. Reiter is not with us today, but we'll hear her presentation nonetheless. She is a member of the working group for Green Libraries since it's been established, and is also the chairman of the projects Green Library and Living Healthy. Today, we are going to hear about green topics in the Public Library Juraj Šišgorić, Šibenik.
Green themes in the Public Library Juraj Šišgorić, Šibenik. The Šibenik City Library has 3 projects dealing with ecology, climate change, nature protection, biodiversity, and healthy living, namely Green Library, Sea Change, and Healthy Lifestyle. I will present the activities of the Public Library Juraj Šišgorić, Šibenik realized in the last 3 years. According to the types of activities in a chronological order will be presented, especially to children and young people, but also to other users, about ecology and sustainable development, the importance of preserving physical and mental health. In 2020, during the closure of libraries due to the COVID-19 virus pandemic, creative workshops were filmed, as well as a storytelling on Facebook. We held expert conference in October with international participation, the role of libraries in promoting a healthy lifestyle, organized by the Public Library, Šibenik, and the Library Association Šibenik. Eco collection of books and magazines for children and adults was presented within a Croatian Book Month manifestation and Sea Change Festival. The library organized a pop-up bookstore in cooperation with the city of Šibenik and Culture Association Fotopoetika as a part of the Sea Change Festival. Books were exchanged, sold and distributed free of charge. We had carbon literacy training for employees of culture institutions. The Little Gardens workshops where children learned what, where and how to plant and have also, with the help of training leader Vice Kovačević, planted a tree on the terrace of in a library held several hits, ecology, mental protection, woodland, stranger, let's make a terrarium, and Alba 100 years old fish on the protection of the sea and oceans. Presentation of the ecologic picture book Down Street River Krka was written and illustrated by pupil of the Šibenik Elementary School with the help of their teacher. Next picture books, Marko at the Krka National Parks in the Telaščica Nature, Marko in the Vransko Lake Nature Park, which was written Martina Markov, biologist. In a library held two children's play, ecological school play titled Leave the Coral to the Sea, made the pupil of the elementary school Šibenik with their teacher. Next, the librarians of the children's department of library performed an online play about a healthy lifestyle and a healthy diet for the kindergarten smilje. Workshops for adults. As a part of the Green Library project, Home Seed Workshops was held, led by Sandy Osmičević from ZMAG, where one could learn how to choose the best plants for seeds, how to preserve it, and how to pick, clean, and store the seeds we collected. Next, composting in the apartment. Workshops on manufacturing natural cosmetics was divided in 3 parts. And next, workshops on making a wooden composter for a garden or a neighborhood was led Ivana Keller. She was member of the Transmission Initiative from Rijeka. Next, workshops on preserving seeds from your own garden was led again Sandy Osmičević from ZMAG. Workshop Valorization of old value specimens of tree was a part of project activities of the scientific research project of students, University of Zagreb. Workshop on skincare during the winter period and how to clean the space with winter essential oil was led Ana Bebić, our colleague. Next workshop was how to turn a home into an oasis without chemicals with the help of essential oil. On the occasion of making the International Day of Biodiversity and the Day of Nature Protection in the Republic, organized by the Croatian branch of Matica Hrvatska in Šibenik and the Professional and Scientific Association Futura, 3 workshops, wild ornamental space for cutting and arranging, flower collage workshop, and creative herbarium. Lecture for adults were mostly on theme healthy living. Lecture nutrition to health and promotion of the book was led Anita Šupe. Lecture positive impact of yoga on the growth and development of children and young. And lecture and promotion of the book Sukshma Vyayama Yoga, Yoga of Micro Movements, Simple Yoga, Exercise for Everyone, was led Leonardo Gospodnetić. Tastes and Aromas of Croatian Honey, the best proof of original and quality, was held Dražen Lušić, Department of Health Ecology, Faculty of Medicine from Rijeka. In library held 4 lectures as a part of the Sea Change project, lecture Permaculture, Sustainable Society and Sustainable Culture, Urban Permaculture, Regenerative Agriculture, and Interactive Lecture and Transmission to a Low-Carbon Society. Workshops and interactive lecture, Good Economy, was presented by Vera Gjokaj from Green Networks of Activist Group SMAG. Next lecture, The Importance of Dendroflora for the Human Environment, the Example of Sarajevo. Virtual art workshops, Take All Paper, Sheets, Ink, Paint and Brush, was led by Zdenka Bilušić. In 11 online workshops, children learned how to master the skills of reusing old material. Art workshop for children, Culture Heritage of Šibenik, from recycled materials with motifs of Šibenik culture and historical heritage, was led Helena Šarić, teacher from elementary school Šibenik. Art workshop Faust Vrančić, The Latest New Machines, was organized as a part of the Festival of Science and was intended for primary school. Children were tasked with making an illustration and giving a description of a machine powered by some of the alternative renewable energy source. In library had 2 art competitions. First art competition from exhibition of bookmark for preschool and primary school children was Homage Robert Viziani, and next art competition from primary school for pupils from the city of Šibenik area within the Sea Change Festival on topic climate change. Several photo exhibitions have been held in the last 3 years. Exhibition of photographs on the topic of significant tree planted in a public park Šibenik in cooperation with Scientific Association Futura. Retrospective exhibition of photographs of Croatian mountaineering, deep sea fauna, Argonauta and diving club. A photo exhibition Wonderful Worlds of Birds, Nature 2000 Krka, as a part of the Science Festival, and photo exhibition with public institution Biokovo Nature Park. Exhibition of paintings were held as a part of the Festival Sea Change, Close to Heavens and Beauties, art exhibition of collage and dolls made of recycled textile. Libraries can help with solving the problem of sustainability of the local community by offering their users access to all education materials, space to meet and advise. Green library and healthy lifestyle were realized thanks to voluntary cooperation with various institutions and associations. Libraries have shown that in difficult times they are ready to perform their task of promoting culture and education, but also to raise awarenesses of climate change, about ecology, etc. In the future, we will continue working with our partners and programs, increasing and attracting new users for more impact.
Thank you. We can move on to our 6th presentation. A good job and health are a man's best wealth. Good health and well-being in Ljubljana City Library by Veronika Rijavec-Pobežin. Mrs. Rijavec-Pobežin is the head of public services in Ljubljana City Library. She coordinates and manages a group of employees and is involved in projects held in the library. Today, we are going to hear about health activities for users and employees held in the City Library.
Hello, dear participants. I'm reporting from Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. I work in the Ljubljana City Library in public services and would like to share with you some part of our work. 17 Sustainable Development Goals were set by world leaders in 2015. One of them, the 3rd goal, is good health and well-being. Quite an important goal nowadays, so let me show you in Ljubljana City Library's case how and why a public library can have a significant role in public health. What we talk about when we talk about health and well-being in a public library. In 1948, the World Health Organization has released definition of health, and in 1986 made further clarifications. There is a question, what can public libraries do about health? Is health and well-being really a matter of public libraries? What can librarians do about health of their users? Well, as we all know, librarians are known for their wide range of interests, and they love to poke their noses everywhere. Why not in health? No worries. We are quite aware which part of public health can be in our zone of interest, and we are completely aware that we are no doctors or scientists. But as librarians, we do have access to information, and we do have a tight connection with our users. So, with the right approach, we think that we can contribute to public health and well-being in public libraries as well. We have focused on improving health literacy among library users in order to help them improve the ability to access, understand, appraise and use of information to make healthy choices. We think that most important for every person is to hear the information, process the information and understand it, as well as use it in a proper way. The role of libraries in promoting health literacy is to create a library collection with quality information resources, provide a collection of health information for users, promote free access to health information at the local level, and organize educational programs about health in the widest possible way. As I said before, it is important that we know what are our limits and what are the goals in providing health information for users. When answering questions of users, there is a need to have a good understanding of the difference between providing information and giving advice. During the reference conversation, library staff warns users that they will receive information and not medical advice. As with other questions from users, librarians do not provide their own views on health issues. Librarians seek information for users in various sources, but do not interpret them. They remind users of the fact that information in the field of health is very complex and that it changes rapidly. Librarians are aware that there is too much health information and resources today, especially online. It is valuable for users that the library staff also evaluates and ranks the health contents on the internet, which is, we can all agree, quite difficult. The field of health is very extensive and complex. Librarians often lack the knowledge and the time to find and verify the relevance of resources. There are many good practices in public libraries around the world, as well as in Slovenia. I will show you some of our effort in improving health literacy among our users in the Ljubljana City Library during the last few years. Well, talks about health came into public long before the Agenda for Sustainable Development, The fact that Europe's population is aging and the number of births declining has been known for years. So, firstly, we started to organize activities for elderly citizens, during which we realized that certain activities gain more interest. In the year 2011, we opened a health corner in our main library, in which many workshops and events are organized. Later, we opened also a few so-called dementia-friendly points and organized cycles of events titled Health. So in the beginning, there were mostly programs for elderly, but we realized that health issues are not reserved for old population only. So we organized some contents for other target groups, like disabled, vulnerable, young families, parents, active population, and so on. We also have some good programs for nursing mothers and babies. Here are the numbers of events only about health and well-being that were organized in our libraries in the last 4 years. The program was held live or viral. We started viral last year, and because of a good response, we keep on with the viral format as well as live. On our webpage, there is public information about health with all useful links for citizens and a simple description how to use them. At the same time, we began to realize that only health workers are capable to make healthy business, which means good environment for users. Or as we can say, it is useless to preach if you don't live what you teach. So in public administration, we get a certain amount of money every year to support health among employees. Firstly, we offered our colleagues tickets for the nearest swimming pool and gym, but high interest was not noticed. As long as we have a lot of space in our libraries, we came upon the idea to bring gym for employees to our libraries and spaces. Among our colleagues, we have a yoga teacher and we hire someone for Pilates and other exercises that are still held in the morning or in the evening in some of our libraries. Last year, when libraries were closed, we had Zoom classes twice a week, and we still proceed with them today. Besides that, we organize many workshops and lectures for our library staff about healthy food, healthy bones, especially the spine, how to eat well and sleep well, how to reduce stress, and so on. We first made the research among all our employees. There are 230 employees in our library. So we made the research about our healthy and unhealthy behavior and habits, about our wishes, expectations, and personal ideas, how to develop health issues in our daily working life. One of them is called Fruit in the Office. Every first Tuesday in a month, we get some fresh fruit in our offices or libraries. We have a working group with members of our staff that is responsible for all good work that is done for colleagues in matters of better health and well-being. They're quite active and they search all the time for new ideas and ways to promote health among colleagues in the Ljubljana City Library. So let me end with this nice picture. For our own health, we alone can do the utmost, but it's important to have the support of the local community, colleagues and family members. Thank you for your attention. Take care and keep well.
Thank you, that was very inspiring. Our seventh panelist is Ivana Pešić from the Public Library Radoslav Nikčević, Jagodina, Serbia. Mrs. Pešić is a senior librarian in the Department of Planning and Project Financing, and she will present us a very interesting topic, the role and importance of the village library in preserving the environment. Ms. Pešić, the floor is yours.
Greetings to all participants. I would like to thank the organizer for the invitation. We will try to briefly present the way we see the role and purpose of libraries, especially school libraries, in education for sustainable development. We know that the goals of Agenda 2030 are integrated and indivisible, and that they balance the three dimensions of sustainable development: the economic, social, and environmental. The social and environmental dimensions are the closest to the primary school age population, whom we must influence contextually in order to raise their awareness to the key values important for coexistence in society and with nature. The extremely fast and advancing development of technology and industry that we are witnessing today requires continuous change and adjustments of individuals in both social context and in their relationship with nature. However, often demanding and complicated correlations in social context lead to increasing neglect of the importance of such correlation between man and nature, which is essential. Therefore, it is crucial for individuals to recognize the key values for coexistence and survival with nature. With this goal in mind, it is necessary to act as early as possible and intensify the development of the key competences, especially through formal education. Accordingly, we could adopt the UN slogan, transforming our world as transforming our relationship into coexistence. At its session held on 30 December 2020, the government of the Republic of Croatia supported the proposal of the Ministry of Culture and Media to declare 2021 the Year of Reading. This is an important step for the entire society, but especially the younger population who are still building and developing their relationship with books and critical thinking. Thus, reading is given the status of social value. And in this way, reading will contribute to society if society enables the acquisition and development of reading habits. It is Agenda 2030 that represents the platform for collaboration between the library as a cultural and educational institution and the community it serves. Why do we see the school library as the central point in education for sustainable development? The contemporary educational process encourages the integration of multiple school subjects and the cross-curricular topic sustainable development through project activities. In this context,
the school library is the logical choice as the central point for the realization of the goals and expectations of the curriculum. A possible solution is proposed under the cross-curricular topic sustainable development, the aim of which is to equip students for independent, critical, and responsible thinking and decision-making about a lifestyle aligned with the resources of natural systems, that is, acting in accordance with the principles of sustainability. These would confirm in practice what IFLA recommends in their statement on libraries and development, in which libraries are assigned a natural role in providing access to the information content and networked services that underpin sustainable development.
To help realizing that role, we prepared a list of suggested titles for children and young adults. The list consists of over 100 literary works of national and international authors. Works are classified according to Agenda 2030 goals. Primary purpose of this list is to inform children and young adults about sustainable development, as well as to motivate them to think actively and critically about the skills necessary for improving the quality of life, their own as well as the life of the society that they are a part of. The list is being constantly updated and anyone can join in that process. There is a QR code which leads to Google form where one can suggest new title. The list can also be a resource for librarians to fulfill the three roles of school library. One is educational role, which means that library creates its own educational programs, which goals are to empower awareness of sustainable development. On the other hand, library can initiate specially designed library programs on the local or global level together with its partners as a part of major projects and activities that aim to promote sustainable development goals. And finally, library can be a project partner to relevant institutions with its sources of information and knowledge. Moreover, modern educational process encourages cross-curriculum teaching. For example, several school subject and cross-curriculum topic sustainable development through project activities. In this context, school library becomes the central point for realization of curriculum goals. School librarians can propose and suggest theoretical and practical ideas for school library to become a central point in education of the community in which it acts, as well as to be a key factor in supporting learning from that same community. We see this as a cyclic process that can start in school library, where students will participate in different so-called green activities and become more sensible for green literacy. As such, they will act practically in their narrow community, which is family. The next step is involvement in making decisions relevant for life in the community. And finally, the community that is now sensible and educated will become a support for school libraries in a way of extending the school curriculum, which will start or continue the green education in school library. If you have any questions or suggestions dealing with the topic, please send us an email. And thank you for your attention.
And we'll go on to our last presentation from Daniela Skoković and Mladen Majstorović from Požega Public Library, Serbia. The title of their presentation is Sdg Book Club for Teenagers. An initiative of Požega Public Library, librarians Daniela Skoković and Mladen Majstorović, as well as Marija Jevrečić, professor of Serbian language at Gymnasium Sveti Sava, started activities dedicated to the sustainable development goals in their newly established Sdg Book Club Serbia for first-year high school students. Tell us more about it, please.
The Public Library, Serbia, and we will present the story of our Sdg Book Club.
We would like to share with you our story about Sdg Book Club and our experiences, so you will be able to establish your own book club and make plans to take action. This is an excellent way to educate people from your local community, first of all, the youth and children, about the Sustainable Development Goals. The Sdg Book Club was launched in April 2019 with the main goal to encourage children ages 6 to 12 to read more and to teach them on the importance of SDGs. Organizers, who are also the members of selection committees, are 5 very powerful organizations and associations working on reading and literacy promotion, as well as members from the United Nations. The selection committee works together, and every month they highlight one of the 17 SDGs, choosing selection of books for reading lists. So, every month in the first week, one of the goals is published as recommendation list for reading. The motto of this project is 17 months to read 17 books about 17 SDGs. We all know, especially librarians, how the reading is important and essential for children's development, their imagination, and raising awareness of sustainable development. Library is that unique, safe space where we gather children and young adults to encourage them to express themselves through art and literature, to teach new skills, and empower their reading competencies and critical thinking. So, we are librarians and we are ready to contribute and involve children to become agents of change, because they will inherit the world we leave them. These are some of our advices that could help you and make easier the process of establishing Sdg Book Club. At the beginning, it seems that this process is very formal, but it is necessary if you want to make a successful Sdg Book Club. And of course, have more members. Make a plan and then take action. The experience of other book clubs from all around the world are precious. So, share your knowledge, connect and collaborate, and always exchange ideas. There are plenty of resources in open access that you could use for your activities. As a member of LAA Task Force on the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals, I have an honor to participate and contribute with ideas in working on the act of strategy and action plan for libraries, as well on preparing downloadable example charts for libraries in the United States. For one of the webinars I participated in, I have been researching resources that could be offered for activities with children. In the following slides, we will offer you some of them, very useful portals and websites that could inspire you. This is the chart I prepared as an example for school libraries, and it is downloadable. The title of the chart is Learn and Play. For every goal of the Sustainable Development Goals, the teachers and educators, as well as parents of course, could find an advice for the activities, but the most important things are the links with games about SDGs, so the children could play and entertain themselves. But first of all, they learn about sustainability. Here's the slide with a great platform, Teach SDGs, for teachers, so there are plenty of educational resources. And then some of the proposed daily actions with even more than 170. And then lesson plans and classroom projects that could be interesting both for teachers and children. and use IFLA platform and their project Library Map of the World, where you could find plenty of ideas from the whole world, as well as library guides are full of materials. And last, but I would say the most important, and this is the page of Sdg Book Clubs on the website of the United Nations, where you could research reading lists for every goal and reading about book clubs around the world. And now we will tell you something more about our Sdg Book Club Serbia at Požega Public Library. As an initiative of our library and students from our high school, we have been researching examples from literature on goals number 1 and number 2 about hunger and poverty. Upon reading books from reading lists, students became more creative. So they create 6 picture books about SDGs and translate them in 4 languages. All information about our project could be found on our Facebook group Sdg Book Club Serbia. We didn't stop. We share our knowledge with others. That is also very important. On the main square in our town, we involved all our citizens to think about sustainability and their role in it, and of course to express themselves. Within our new project Green Library and the part of Green Library, especially Seed Library, we spread the word about our book club and offer our members new topics and ideas for projects. For example, about organic farms, microplanting, healthy food in school, and inspire students to take part in Petnica Research Center in one competition where they were chosen in the theme of 15 high schools from 100 schools from Serbia with their project about healthy food in schools. And it is not the end, because it is going to be continued. We, librarians, are ready for new challenges. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions about our Sdg book clubs, we are very ready to answer on them.
Thank you very much. And with this, we conclude our second session. And now it's time for questions and answers. You can write your questions into the chat box. And while you're writing, I'll start with some questions. For example, Mrs. Čunović, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
A little question. Can you tell us what are your plans for your Green Library in the future?
Thanks, Martina, for this interesting question. Well, this year, the Karlovac Library, the new, how can I say, strategic development plan from 2021 to 2025. As you can see, we printed the plan in the form of a brochure, of course, and online. And as you can see, the green color of the cover suggests that green themes are quite common. And according to this plan, the Karlovac Library, as a green library, will work on environmental awareness of employees and users and the entire community, of course. The library will strive to operate ecologically and take care of sustainable and efficient use of resources, implement energy efficiency measures, and install, the most important, install alternative energy resources in the form of solar panels on or near the library building. And of course, we will continue to organize the Green Festival. and hope to last at least 2 days in the future. Is it okay, 2 days?
Great. Thank you for your answer. It was very insightful. Is there any questions in the chat? No. Is Mrs. Grujić here? I have a question for Mrs. Grujić.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question. You had a very extensive and big project. You must be very proud. Can you tell us, were there any challenges for your library during the project, or was it all just smooth sailing?
Both. It was very challenging. There were many activities, as you said, but it was carefully planned. We had help from the Brussels the whole time. Mrs. Ilona Kish was with us all the time, and the planning was the key. So when some things, it was challenging, for example, for organizing the final celebration in the park. It's the Danube Park. It's not easy to get permissions to organize any event out there, but it was somehow expected and easy to solve. I don't know, it was challenging, but it went on smoothly. So we've had a great team. We've had 7 of us. Everybody had their own agenda, something to work on. So we clicked. It was a short period of time. It was during the summer, 4.5 months, many activities, but they were, as they were a challenge, they were fulfilling.
Thank you very much. That's a great answer. Is there any questions from the participants? No. I have one more question for Mrs. Marinka Vnuk. Is she with us?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
We've heard in your presentation, it was very inspiring and very interesting that you have a seed library. How does that work? How many libraries are involved in it? Can you tell us more about it?
Actually, we're just in the phase of planning the whole thing. So we had to work with other libraries who in Slovenia that already have seed libraries. So we're still trying to work this out. We have prepared few things. We have a caretaker, which will be one of our local experts who will take care of our library and our seeds and help our visitors to collect seed, to explain the sorts and everything. So she will be in charge, basically. And of course, library will offer a space for the seed library, and well, we'll see how that will work.
Great. We look forward to seeing how it goes.
How it's going to work in the future.
Yes. Is there any questions? Nobody? Okay, I would like to thank every single one of our speakers. You were all very interesting, and we've heard so many good examples, and I hope we are all now inspired to implement some of the things we heard into our own work. And with this, I close this session, and I give a word to my colleague Anita Malkoč Bišćan from Public Library Ivan Goran Kovačević, that's going to host the poster session. So here she is.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anita Malkoč Bišćan, and I'm a moderator of last session today. We have 3 poster presentation. The first is from Faculty of Organization and Informatics, University of Zagreb, Croatia. We have 3 exhibitors, Bernarda Kos, who is senior librarian, has been employed at the Library of the Faculty of Organization and Informatics since 2005. And since 2008, she has been head of the library. Second one is Ljiljana Hajdin. She comes from the Library of Faculty of Organization and Informatics in Varaždin. She has been employed as the library since 2005, and before that she worked at the elementary school library. Last one is Ladislav Cvetko. He's from Library of the Faculty of Organization and Informatics since 2013. He's active member of Library Association from Varaždin County and graphic editor of the magazine Context.
Hello, I'm Ljubljana Hajdin. I come from the Library of the Faculty of Organization and Informatics, University of Zagreb. I'm glad to present you our work poster in which my colleagues Bernarda Kos and Ladislav Cvetko want to show examples of good practice, services and activities in our library related to sustainability, or in other words, how we contribute to raise environmental awareness. Sustainable development is one of the biggest challenges we are facing today. The 17 goals adopted by all UN member states in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development are in some way our starting point. So the activities presented in the paper are divided within several goals of the agenda, which we as a higher education library with its specifics try to achieve. Goal number 4 refers to ensure inclusive and quality education for all. We organize various educational programs for our students, provide remote access to digital materials, and in general, we strive to ensure that the library is a place for lifelong learning. Also, we collaborate with institutions in our hometown Varaždin, like retirement home, the Women's Safe House and Homeless Shelter, and to donate them books. Goal number 6, ensure availability, sustainable management of water, and we offer free access to information on water, energy, and sustainable development. Goal number 7 refers to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy. So we insist, for example, to illuminate all areas of the library by LED lighting or use the dark mode option on our web pages. Library supports goal number 9 by providing to wider community free access to digital collections or scientific publications with reliable data sources in open or temporary access. Goal number 10 refers on reducing inequality. In this sense, the library has been partnered with the association Croatia named Zamisli by providing blind students equal study opportunities through access to all necessary literature. 13 means urgent action to combat climate change and its impact, where we participate with a variety of activities and promote actions that protect the environment. For example, there is our new website, the Green Library. We recycle various kinds of waste, reuse written out books, and just to mention, our personal contribution is that we come to work on foot or by bicycle. Goal number 15, Life on Land. We have a special library collection on environmental protection. Also, we set up an exhibition on the occasion of the UN proclamation of the Red Alert for Humanity. Number 16, Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions. We support this goal by providing the local community free access of all kinds of information, services and actions for sustainable development. I will just mention cooperation with institutions like Animal Shelter, Croatia named SPAS, Association Plant a Tree, Don't Be a Scamp, or Croatian Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We know that libraries are key partners in this global work. Achieving all of the goals depends on libraries and information. For the end, I would emphasize that our library constantly designs and develops programs and services based on the concept of green libraries and sustainability, and so raises environmental awareness among its users as well as the wider community. And so we have been actively involved with the creation and promotion of the SDGs, or Global Goals. Instead of greeting, I would just say, together we can contribute to making the 2030 agenda a reality. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you all. Now we have a second poster presentation from Slovenia, Ljubljana City Library by Ana Zdravje. Ana Zdravje has received her master's degree from the Department of Library and Information Society and Book Studies of the University of Ljubljana, and has been working in the field of librarianship since 2001. In 2008, she became the head of smaller branch library of Ljubljana City Library, and then in 2014, the head of medium-sized library in Šentvid. Since 2019, she has been a president of Ljubljana Librarians Association. Anna, can we hear?
Šentvid Library, Green Library. The Ljubljana City Library plans and develops services that originated in its vision to understand the changes and to prepare the path to the services of the future. The Ljubljana City Library is present and has its branches all around the city. The branches are being systematically renovated according to possibilities. The future conceptual design for the branch libraries is based on the needs of the inhabitants of their local communities, as well as the needs of other inhabitants in the whole area of the library network. In October 2013, the Ljubljana City Library initiated a 6-month renovation of its branch library in Šentvid, located at the green outskirts of Ljubljana, where almost half of the local community surface is covered with the forest. Its mission is: we live in harmony with nature. Šentvid Library was the first library within Ljubljana City Library to take a green brand. Green Library is a social and information center whose activities and missions focus on the importance of environmental issues and is focused on environmental sustainability and the development of green literacy. With its design and operation, the Green Library also sets an example in reducing negative environmental impacts. Goals of Green Library are intertwined with the goals of United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. In addition to the ever-expanding ecological collection for adults and children, Šentvid Library also organizes activities to raise awareness among its users. 5 times a year, it dedicates 1 week a month to lectures and workshops in the field of nature protection and becomes a real green teacher. It often invites local partners and unique characters for its colleagues and lecturers. Everyone is welcome in the library, as all its activities are free of charge. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anna. And now the least one is Tihana Lončarić from Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar from Croatia. Tihana Lončarić holds a master degree in library science and master's degree of education in Croatian language. She graduated from Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences of the University of Zagreb. Since 2017, she has been employed at the Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar.
The Virtual Green Shelf is the latest online service of the Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar, and it was launched by the Adult Department on September 24th this year. It was created with the aim of raising awareness of green literacy and promoting literature on environmental protection and sustainable development that the library has in its collection. It is a web page created in a free content management system, WordPress. Raising awareness and information about the environment protection and a sustainable society is needed today more than ever. Libraries, as indispensable sources of information and knowledge, play an extremely important role in this. That is why the library in this virtual shelf brings together and presents all the books from its collection that deal in green topics such as sustainable development, permaculture, renewable energy sources, conservation of natural biodiversity, organic nutrition, etc. In this way, the green part of the library's collection becomes more visible and accessible. The shelf is intended for anyone who wants to get informed on these topics, either for professional and educational purposes or for study in their spare time. It contains literature for a wide range of readers, for students of all ages, educators, parents, researchers, scientists, and so on. Googling Virtualna zelena polica, the first result will take you to the official website of the Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar. The post on that page contains a short text describing the shelf, and clicking the yellow button will redirect you to the website. Of course, you can access the shelf by typing the direct link to the WordPress site that is short and easy to remember. Additionally, the virtual green shelf is part of the digital treasury of the Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar called Dalekozor, which contains digitized books and newspapers, blogs, virtual exhibitions, and other online services of the library. The virtual green shelf is simple and user-friendly. The page contains details on its creation, who its intended users are, and its purpose. This section contains a link to the official website of the Public Library Petar Preradović Bjelovar. Visitors to the shelf can also contact librarians via the online form and send messages with inquiries, suggestions, and comments about the green books in the library's collection. The homepage of the shelf, called Themes, lists all the professional and scientific book categories. Here you can find green literature from the fields of anthropology, architecture, plant protection, botany, ethics, and so on. Selecting the box of a particular field will take you to a list of all green books belonging to that field. Clicking on the particular book will redirect you to more detailed information about the book itself, such as the title of the book, author, book cover, short description, and category. The link below the cover image will direct you to the library's online catalog, where you can check the availability and location of the book on the premises. If you want to check out a book or create a reservation, you can do so using the M-Knjižnica mobile app. The majority of books on the virtual green shelf belong to the professional fields of the library's collection. These are books of interest to professors and students, scientists and researchers, but also for personal exploration of natural energy sources, ecological farming, or sociological aspects of ecology and sustainable development, among other subjects. In addition to professional literature, the shelf gathers in one place a rich selection of green books and picture books for the youngest readers, their parents, educators, and teachers. These books can serve as an introduction to concepts such as nature conservation, waste management, or climate change. Most of these titles can be found in multiple categories, which makes searching easier. The shelf also contains fiction titles whose plot is imbued with ecological motives. Here you can find a list of novels by the famous Norwegian author Maja Lunde from her 4-part series on the fundamental existential themes facing the modern world. The aim is to achieve better visibility of the green part of the library's collection and further promote it to our users. Users can research available literature and stumble upon books they might never have discovered on their own. Finally, the main goal is to raise awareness of the importance of environmental protection and sustainable development through library services, books, and reading. That is all from me, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thanks for every presentation. This is the last session for today, and now I will give a word for to my colleagues in Zagreb.
First, I would like to apologize for technical problems. The presentations will be added to the video of the conference, and they will be available at YouTube channel of Zagreb Library Association. We will also publish an online publication of the conference, so please send us your papers till 15th of February. And once more, thank you all for being a part of our conference. We couldn't even imagine to have so much participants. We hope the conference was an inspiration for your further work. And stay